At this moment, we would like to conclude public finance by looking into what we mean by budget. Not only that, we would like to look at national debt and revenue allocation in Nigeria. So today, we'll try to finalize all what we have under public finance by looking into the three concepts that I've mentioned earlier. Budget. This is a financial statement of the estimated revenue and the proposed expenditure of the government within a given period of time, usually a year. So every year, government of the country tries to understand its budget. And when we're talking about budget, we have two kinds of accounts in it: estimated revenue account and proposed expenditure account. And when we're talking about estimated revenue, we're talking about income accrued to government. That is, the various sources of income that government understand in getting income, so that the government can carry out its proposed expenditure. So we have analyzed it under public finance about two or 3 days ago when we started with the public finance. So in budget, we are talking about estimated revenue and proposed expenditure. Types of budget. When we are talking about type of budget, we have three types. We are going to look at the three types. The first one, we call it budget surplus. When government is trying to make a budget, they must understand the situation, the economic situation of the country, if budget surplus is what they should propose or not. But what is budget surplus? Budget surplus implies a financial statement of government where the proposed expenditure is less than estimated revenue. So what we are saying here is that government will look at the economic situation by saying, okay, this year they want to achieve budget surplus. And when we're talking about budget surplus, they want to have more revenue. That is, the estimated revenue, they want to be more than proposed expenditure. So here, government is trying to reduce what we call aggregate spending in that period. Government does not want to spend much in that year due to economic situation. Maybe in order to reduce the inflationary pressure in the economy. So by proposing budget surplus, it implies that government wants to get more revenue and spend little in that economy. The second one, we call it budget deficit. And what is a budget deficit? It is a financial statement which involves the estimated revenue to be less than the proposed expenditure of the government in a period. That is, when we are talking about budget deficit, government is making a plan. They are proposing where they will spend more than what they are going to get as revenue. So in that case, government wants to increase the aggregate spending. So if government is not trying to source for more income, but they want to spend more, right? It implies that they are trying to increase the aggregate spending. And to increase the aggregate spending, it implies that government needs to pay more money through the central bank of the country. Not only that, government can also borrow either internally or externally in order to carry out its function. The government is not proposing to make more revenue, but government is proposing to spend more in the economy. So if the revenue they are going to get is less than what they are spending, so the implication is that the government is going to borrow from various organizations, either internal or external. So due to the economic situation of the country, so government can try to, maybe in order to control the inflation they are experiencing in the economy, or because government has capital as a result of a huge capital outlay that government is trying to carry out. So if they want to finance such projects, it implies that they are still going to borrow because the estimated revenue is not much when they compare with the proposed expenditure. So as I said, the economic situation will tell the government if to propose surplus or to propose deficit. The third one, balanced budget. And when we're talking about balanced budget, it implies that government doesn't want to spend beyond what they have gotten as revenue. The estimated revenue is to be equal to proposed expenditure. Government doesn't want to spend beyond or below what they have stored as revenue. So in that case, government is proposing what we call balanced budget. So there are three types of budget, as I said: surplus budget, budget deficit, balanced budget. So it is the responsibility of the government to determine which of the three types that they will prefer, depending the economic situation of the country. The first one, it is a means of raising revenue. We see budget as a means of raising revenue. So we say revenue is what government tries to get in order to carry out its function. So with the help of budget, budget will assist government in raising revenue. Number two, it is used in correcting balance of payment deficits. When a country is experiencing balance of payment deficit, it can be corrected using the budget. It is when government is making a plan, they have to consider the type of budget to use. So with the help of budget, it will make the government to understand how the balance of deficits will be corrected. Number three, it is used to correct inflation or deflation. When a country is experiencing inflation, right, government can decide to make use of what we call budget surplus. We are saying that government can make use of surplus, like a budget surplus, in correcting inflationary pressure. So that is the budget, because I will look at your economic situation. So if that thing tells government that budget surplus will be appropriate. But if government wants to increase its spending, then that is they are trying to make use of a budget deficit. So maybe because there is deflation in the economy, government can make use of such a instrument. So we see budget as a means to correct inflation or deflation. Number four, it serves as a tool for economic development. When government wants to carry out its project in a year, with the help of budget, government will be able to work to understand how they are going to move forward. So we can see budget as a tool for economic development. And the last one we have says it is the means of enhancing public welfare and reducing income inequality in the country. We understand that when government is making budget, they will put into consideration taxation and expenditure. So once government can put this into consideration in their budget, it implies that with the help of budget, there will be a reduction in the income inequality, and it will also enhance public welfare. National debt. This refers to public debt, indicating the amount of money the government and its agencies are owing to its citizens, foreign countries, or organizations. So we are talking about public debt that we call national debt. We are talking about the amount that government has taken in terms of loans from other organizations. Government can take loan from citizens, from foreign countries, even from foreign financial organizations such as IMF. So what we are talking about here is that we are trying to look at the total liability that government is owing either to the citizen or people or organizations outside the country. So we are talking about public debt. We have two major types: internal debt and external debt of national debt. When I say internal debt, we are talking about debt that is within the country. When government take loan from its citizens in order to carry out its work activity for one reason or the other. So such loan or such debt refers to as internal debt. But we are talking about external debt. We are talking about debt that is outside the country. When government take facilities in terms of loan or overdraft from foreign countries or foreign organizations, so we are talking about external debt. Reasons for borrowing. That is, why do we have what we call public debt or national debt? Why government is taking facilities, that is, a credit facility from foreign countries or foreign organizations, even within the country? Why government is doing that? Government has its reason for borrowing, and among the reasons we are going to look at some. Number one, to finance public deficit. If government want to carry out its budget in a year, haven't understood the type of budget to go for. Maybe they go for budget deficit. In that case, government is still going to borrow, because budget deficit implies when government is taking less revenue from its citizens and trying to spend more than what it has taken, then government needs to get money from another source. So it becomes debt. So government might carry out debt in order to finance budget deficit. Number two, to finance huge capital projects. If government has a capital project at hand, right? So there is no way government will not borrow because the existing revenue might not be sufficient for government to use. So the only thing government can do is to exercise borrowing outside the country or within the country. Then the third one, to reduce economic burden on taxpayers. Instead of government continue increasing the tax rate on people and on goods and services, government can decide to borrow in order to reduce the economic burden. Number four, to provide employment opportunity. Government can borrow in order to create more jobs in the economy so that the citizen can engage in one or two things. That is, creation of a job opportunity. Government can decide to do that. Then the last one I have says to solve balance of payment disequilibrium. If the economy is experiencing balance of payment disequilibrium, that we call balance of payment deficit or surplus, government can use this in correcting it. So we are talking about disequilibrium, particularly if the country is experiencing balance of payment deficit. So government needs to borrow in order to finance its balance of payment problem, that is, to be precise, balance of payment deficits. Effect of public debt. I won't explain what by public debt or national debt. Let us look at the economic effects that we can see in an economy. The first one, number one, the servicing of external debt involves an outflow of resources which can be used for economic development. We understand that when you take a facility, it is a must to return it, right? So in that case, when you're having a debt, if care is not taken, the economy will experience outflow of resources. And as long as the resources are flowing out of the economy, it will have serious effect on the economic development. So either a country like it or not, it is the more that they service their economy debt. So we understand that this is a negative effect on the economy when you are servicing your external debt. So that's why I said there will be an outflow of resources, and these resources can be used for economic development. Number two, it can reduce the availability of foreign reserve. It can reduce the availability of foreign reserve. Public debt reduces foreign reserve because when the time to repay your loan or the facility, you must do that. So in that case, your foreign reserve will be reducing. So that's why we said it can reduce the availability of foreign reserve. So such country won't be able to have enough foreign reserve. Number three, the servicing of a large internal debt will limit the government's ability to provide social capital and services for the people. Now, we've explained in terms of external debt. Assuming it is an internal debt, what is the effect is going to be? Either government like it or not, government must pay back the facility taken from its citizens. So the effect it's going to have is that it will not allow government to have the ability to provide social capital and services for the people because of the war, because of the debt. And the fourth one, a large domestic debt will influence the distribution of income in the country. When I say domestic debt, we are still talking about internal debt. So government won't be able to ensure even distribution of income in the country because of the debt that government is having at hand. So it will influence the distribution of income in the country. Revenue allocation. It is the sharing of nation's wealth between the component parts of the nation, that is the federal, state, and local government. So when we are talking about revenue allocation, we are looking at how a nation shares its revenue among its component parts. So in Nigeria, we have three tiers of government: federal government, state, and local government. So they share the revenue available based on certain principles. Now, the sharing of revenue according to the federal account among the units within a given level of government involve certain principles based on some factors to be applied in revenue allocation. That is, when it comes into the sharing of revenue available in federal government account, there are certain principles that were put in place, but the principles are not constant. That is, they can change at any time. So, depending the situation that is what the country is facing, that will determine how they are going to apply the principle. But we are going to look at some of the factors that they make use of in sharing revenue in Nigeria. So that's why we have it here. Some factors to be applied in revenue allocation, such as the population size. When you're trying to share the revenue, what you understand is to look into the population size that they have in that country. So not only that, they can look into land mass. What is the land mass that they have? This among its components, particularly the states. Then they can also look into logical, ecological problems. That is, looking at the ecological problem will also be another factor that they can put into consideration when they are trying to share the revenue. Not only that, they can also look into mineral producing areas. That is, what are the available areas that are giving the nation revenue in terms of mineral producing. So what are the countries? So they can also put that into consideration. They can also make use of the derivation in sharing the revenue and so on and so forth. So as of today, we cannot say there is a constant principle in time of sharing the revenue among the tiers of government, because day in day out, the state can rise up asking government to increase their revenue because they are producing their mineral producing area. So we understand that government will put into consideration that a certain principle will be put in place anytime they want to share the revenue that they have in the country. Examples. Question 1. Which of the following best describes the budget? A. Plan of government needs and expenditure for a year. B. Satisfactory balance between income and expenditure for a year. C. Detailed estimate of government financial operation for a year. D. Plan for control of government industries and corporation for a year. The right answer is C. Detailed estimate of government financial operation for a year. Question 2. The situation where government revenue in a fiscal year is less than its expenditure is referred to as A. Budget deficit. B. Budget surplus. C. Budget statement. D. Balanced budget. The right answer is A. Budget deficit. Question 3. Deficit financing means A. Having budget surplus. B. Receiving grants from the IMF. C. Borrowing to finance the budget. D. Excessive government spending on banks. The right answer is C.